Somewhere in the countryside outside of Paris, Robert welcomes home his girls and tells Sasha how excited he and Holly are that they are here. Jason enters the cottage with them, and Sasha says Daisy needs a diaper change. Robert points her in the direction of the nursery that they've set up for her. She tells Robert and Jason to behave while she's gone. Alone, Jason offers to leave. Robert says he'd love nothing more for him to do so, but not before he says thank you. He says decades ago, Jason stepped up for Robin, and now he's stepped up for Sasha and Daisy. So he's grateful to him. Jason says Michael also respects Robert and knows he'll keep Sasha and Daisy safe. Sasha returns, and Daisy is asleep in the nursery. Jason says he should get going as he has a plane to catch. Sasha walks him out. Outside, Sasha says she's realized, while putting Daisy down, that she's not afraid anymore, and she feels she's doing the right thing, leaving Port Charles. Jason says she's a good mom and can spend time with her parents and discover out what it's like to be a family. However, Jason says she'll always have a home to come back to and to call if she needs anything. Sasha tears up and feels as if she's losing her security blanket. She gives him 2 kisses on his cheek, one for her and one for Daisy. Sasha returns to Robert, thanks him for everything, and is happy she finally has someone to call a dad. Daisy cries, and she goes to tend to her. At the PCPD, Anna invites Carly into her office and apologizes in advance for being a nosy grandma, but asks how much she knows about Joss's new boyfriend. Carly wouldn't call him her boyfriend, and since when is Joss's dating life her business? Anna says since it involves her granddaughter's future. Anna tells her about seeing Emma on a date with Vaughn, and she joined them for a drink to get a sense of the guy. But then Joss appeared, staked her claim on Vaughn, and they went off and had an Ina Mears reunion. Carly says her daughter has always been direct and hopes Emma wasn't upset. Anna doesn't think Emma even had an interest in the guy. The real prize was taking him from Joss. Carly says she doesn't police Joss's dating life, and she doesn't know what's going on with them, but this is the first guy she's shown interested in since Dex died. Anna feels Joss is looking for a different outlet in Vaughn. Joss was fixated on proving Cyrus killed Dex for months. This is news to Carly. Carly says that at least Cyrus is presumed dead and assumes Joss let the Cyrus thing go, as she went on this last-minute trip to Easter Island. She explains that when Joss returned, it was as if a switch had flipped for her. She committed herself to this physics class and landed a position with Dalton. Anna asks if that's when she started this thing with Vaughn. Carly says it is, and asks if she knows something she's not telling her. Anna claims she doesn't. Carly says if Vaughn is taking Joss's mind off her grief and helping her live her life, then she's okay with it. Carly thanks Anna for the heads up, but she knows Joss. Once her mind is made up, there is no talking her out of it, and she'll have to make her own mistakes, just like her mom. Carly leaves. At the PC airport, Joss and Vaughn put on a show, acting as if he is about to leave town. They hug, and Vaughn says they have one shot to intercept the package. The mystery woman arrives, and Joss gets into position. Alone, Vaughn texts someone. In a security office, Dante is watching the cameras and sees Joss and Vaughn putting on their act. When he sees Vaughn alone texting, he wonders who he's texting and who he is waiting for. Back in the airport, Vaughn pretends to bump into the mystery woman and flirts with her. As he distracts her, Joss walks by and slips a tracker into her bag. The woman heads to her flight, and Joss and Vaughn check their phones and see the tracker is on the move. In Crimson's office, Willow walks in as Obrecht tells Nina that it's clear her daughter's life is falling apart in her absence. Willow asks if she can join them, or is she excluded from this conversation, given that her life is a mess. Willow says hello to Aunt Liesl, and Nina insists she didn't tell her anything. Obrecht has been keeping tabs on her family while away. She is aware of Willow's divorce and is grappling with how she lost custody of her children. How did she not end up with shared custody? Willow explains that Michael isn't the man her aunt remembers. She insists he's become vindictive and cruel. Obrecht remembers him staying by her side when she had little hope of surviving. Willow admits he did, but Liesl and Drew were the ones who saved her life and were her heroes. She began to realize how kind and supportive Drew is, and she likes who she is around him. They fell in love, and Michael is punishing her for it. Obrecht points out it might have been prudent not to move in with Drew while her husband was in Germany getting life-saving treatment. Willow explains they were trying to give their kids a stable home, and Michael was unfaithful too. The judge held her to a different standard, and now Michael has 3 children under his roof, and she has none. Nina tells her daughter that, sadly, that's no longer the case. Nina explains that Sasha decided to leave Port Charles with Daisy. Willow is relieved to learn Michael didn't go with her and take her children with them. She asks why Sasha left. Nina says there have been incidents with Daisy, and they fear Sonny's enemies are using Daisy to send a message. Obrecht calls using a child sick, and Nina agrees. Nina says it doesn't appear that Sasha is coming back anytime soon, and Michael supports her decision, as heartbreaking as it is for him. Willow turns her back, pours a drink, and smiles. Willow then picks up the wedding binder Maxie left behind, hopes to see more of her Aunt Liesl soon, and gives Nina a huge hug for being such a comfort to her over the past weeks. Willow leaves, and Obrecht tells Nina in a stern voice, "There is something very wrong with your daughter." She points out the look of devilish joy on Willow's face when she learned Sasha left with Michael's baby, and that woman is not the same woman she knew when she left. She says Willow's behavior and actions are inexcusable. Nina explains it is Drew's influence over her, so Obrecht says they must break the tie between them immediately. At Aurora, Portia appears in Curtis's office and explains that she slept at the hospital last night. She tells Curtis this has to end so Drew has nothing to hold over them. She is going to face the hospital board and confess to all, and she knows they'll take this to the state medical board. Even if she faces criminal charges, she can't spend another day under Drew's thumb. Curtis asks what Drew is asking her to do now. Portia explains that Drew wants her to alter Michael's blood tests to make it look like he's abusing opioids. Drew knows this will cost Michael custody of his children, and it has to end. Curtis asks her to think about what this will cost her. She doesn't care, as she won't break her oath and harm a patient. She worked too hard to get where she is, and she's taking her power back. Drew Kane can go to hell. Curtis is worried about her as she's talking about throwing away the career she loves. Portia says it is her fault and actions have consequences. Curtis fears that Trina will blame herself for this, as Portia broke the law for her and could be imprisoned. Is she willing to risk prison time? Portia says no matter what choice she makes, someone will get hurt. She'd rather die than break Trina's heart, but at least Trina will see her mother standing up for herself. Drew Kane doesn't get to win. At Aurora, Curtis tells Portia that she's remarkable, and he agrees with what she said. She senses a but coming. He says they have to be certain these steps are the only ones to take, and she can't take this back. Portia is ready to face the consequences. He feels she's about to walk away from everything she's worked for. Portia doesn't see another choice, and there may not be another way out. Curtis wants her to be sure this is the only move she has left. At Crimson, Obrecht tells Nina that she understands it's difficult to see who one's child really is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That was true for her and Britta, as well as Britta seeing who her mother was. Nina admits she's afraid of losing Willow every day, and nobody despises Drew as much as she does. She's tried to make Willow see reason. Obrecht says there is always a way, and Drew must have a skeleton in his walk-in closet. The man seduced his nephew's wife, so they have to find something to destroy the hold Drew has on Willow. Willow returns to the hospital and calls Michael. She says she heard Sasha and Daisy left, and she's so sorry. She knows how painful it is to be separated from your child, and she'd never want that for him or any parent. Now that he sees how awful it is there no room for compromise? In Europe, Sasha brings Daisy out to meet her grandpa Robert. At the PCPD, Anna speaks with Dante on the phone. Dante says all signs point to Vaughn being WSB, and he's sure a tracker was planted on the woman he was watching. Anna asks if Vaughn was working alone. Dante says he wasn't, and she'll never guess who. Anna cuts him off and says, "Jocelyn Jax!" At the airport, Vaughn and Joss realize the woman is heading to the Paris airport, but is that her final destination? At the very airport in Paris, Jason is waiting for his flight. A woman rushes by him when a flight to Croatia is called. She catches his attention, and we see a woman who looks just like Britt zip by. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Messy Syrup! It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Here's your General Hospital spoilers sneak peek at some of the action that will take place in Port Charles the week of July 21st to 25, 2025. Be sure to tune in to ABC each weekday to see how it all plays out. Carly and Brennan discuss the future. Dante gives Anna food for thought. Jason gets nostalgic. Vaughn has a stern warning for Jocelyn. Brooke. Lynn is in for a surprise. Laura gets disturbing information. Isaiah encourages Portia. Sidwell makes an announcement. Lucas shares his suspicions. Jason is determined. Dante and Lulu are alarmed. Nina seeks out Drew. Portia makes a revelation. Willow's behavior causes concern. Thursday, July 24th, 2025. Elizabeth reunites with Obrecht. Nina wants to take action. Willow and Scout have a heart-to-heart. Alexis has a frank talk with Drew. Trina holds her ground. Willow and Drew's wedding day is filled with drama. General Hospital spoilers indicate that all arrows are pointing to Giovanni Gio Palmieri getting caught in the crossfire of a mob war. As Tracy Quartermain has not only warned her great-grandson, but has been making desperate moves to protect him, her efforts might be futile. Could Gen Z Sidwell use Gio as a bargaining chip to get his son back? GH spoilers remind fans that Sonny Corinthos has kidnapped Marco Rios and is holding Sidwell's son with a list of demands. This is also in retaliation for the Charlie's Pub incident that almost cost the life of Sonny's daughter, Christina Corinthos Davis. But will Sidwell back down to Sonny? Or will he further escalate the issue? Could he strike back by kidnapping one of Sonny's loved ones? In this mob game of power, it's important for both men to refrain from wavering and stand strong. There's a good chance Sidwell will up the ante instead of backpedaling. Gio has not only been warned by Tracy about getting caught in a dire situation because of his grandfather, but Sonny has also told him to stay away for his own protection. With that said, Gio, along with Sonny's other family members, is on Sidwell's radar. GH viewers saw Sidwell sifting through photos of Sonny's adult children, and Gio's face was one of the pictures, in the criminal's stack. This means Gio is a target, and with all the talk of Tracy wanting to keep him safe, the show is foreshadowing danger on the horizon for the young man. Whether Gio is purposely taken or simply at the wrong place at the wrong time, will he end up in a dangerous circumstance? Could he be kidnapped and held hostage? Either way, it'll be Tracy's, as well as Brooklyn Quartermain Chase's and Dante Falconeri's worst nightmare. Will Gio get caught up in Sonny's mob war with Sidwell? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tune into the ABC soap regularly for all the drama and check out this site often for the best General Hospital news, updates, and spoilers. Look stars in the new film Get Off My Lawn, which debuted on the streaming service Tubi last weekend. The film stars Taj Mowry and former Days of Our Lives star Camilla Bannis as the leads of the film, playing a couple. IMDb describes it as, a sweet suburban couple is terrorized by a deranged teenager and his friends after they purchase his grandfather's sacred home. General Hospital spoilers say Rocco Falconeri is preparing to meet Liesl Obrecht following his email seeking answers about Britt Westbourne. Rocco won't be content until he gets answers to the questions surrounding his birth and how he came to be here, and he wants to hear them from someone who hasn't been lying by omission to him for his entire life. Liesl's return could drive a wedge between him and his parents, Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri, with Britt's shocking reappearance, spotted alive by Jason Morgan, as seen in GH previews, and Rocco's growing doubts about Lulu's honesty. Will this meeting twist a knife in his parents' backs, or open a path to healing? Rocco's meeting with Liesl stems from his pain over Lulu's secrecy, and Brooklyn Quartermain's vengeful, however unintentional, reveal of the circumstances around his birth. Liesl could very well see Rocco as a link to Britt, whom she either believes is dead or knows is alive. Her stories could fuel Rocco's mistrust in his parents, especially after learning they never told him the truth about the first 7 months of his life. finding out now that he wasn't even with his parents until that point, and knew someone else as his mother has been a lot for his teenage heart and mind to absorb. Will Liesl's words deepen his rift with Lulu and Dante, or offer clarity to mend their family? Lulu and Dante, already strained by Lulu's accidental exposure of Giovanni Gio Palmieri being Dante and Brooklyn's son, face a new blow if Rocco pulls away. Dante's anger and Lulu's guilt could worsen if Liesl paints Britt as a victim, twisting Rocco's view of who he thought his mom and dad were. We know that Lulu and Dante aren't going to give up easily, but their fight to keep their son close and not lose his to Liesl's influence could be more of a challenge than they can possibly predict right now. Will Liesl's carefully chosen words undo years of love and care, shattering their bond with Rocco? Or can they counter her sway with help from family like Laura Collins and Sonny Corinthos? Lulu is frantic already, so it's hard to imagine how much worse this could get if her concerns aren't addressed soon. Seeing her tear into Jason Morgan, who just thought he was being honest about his experience with Britt, was an eye-opener for many fans. Laura's words didn't fall on deaf ears when she warned Lulu about just how bad the outcome might be in this situation when all is said and done. Without much support from Dante, Lulu is feeling like she's on an island and losing her son at a time when she already doesn't have her daughter in arm's reach. Will Rocco's meeting with Liesl be a knife in Lulu and Dante's backs, or can they pull their son back before her words fracture their family for good? Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to find out. Next on GH, Carly and Brennan discuss the future. Brooklyn is in for a surprise. Vaughn has a stern warning for Joss. In addition to Carly and Brennan discussing the future, General Hospital spoilers for Monday, July 21, 2025, will also focus on Dante giving Anna food for thought and Jason getting nostalgic. Carly and Brennan each have their own busy lives, and so sometimes they don't get to spend all that much quality time together. On Monday, the two get to do just that, and at the Metro Court pool to boot. Look for the conversation to get a bit deep when Carly and Brennan discuss the future. The question here is, if they'll even have a future after Carly finds out Joss is working for Brennan as one of the most recent WSB agents. Meanwhile, Dante gives Anna food for thought. These two suspect that Joss works for the WSB and is investigating Professor Dalton since she is his summer assistant. In the sneak peek at the end of Friday's episode, Dante asks Anna, "Do you think she knows what she's getting into?" Wait until Dante finds out one of the reasons why Joss decided to say yes to the spy life, to take down his father. Vaughn and Joss just tailed the courier, who snagged the bag Dalton left at the Metro Court pool. She left on a plane for Paris, although that may not be her final destination. Vaughn fancies himself a bit of a mentor to Joss, so it's not a shock to find out that Vaughn has a stern warning for Jocelyn. What or who does his advice involve? While Brooklyn is in for a surprise, Jason is on the move. He dropped off Sasha with Robert. Later, at the French airport, he thinks he spotted someone who looked a lot like Britt Westbourne. According to GH's sneak peek, he will try to figure out a way to get to the woman he saw board a plane. Jason also gets nostalgic, which might mean he starts thinking about his past with Britt. While he may take a trip down memory lane, will he decide to get on a plane back to Port Charles? Or will he search for this mystery Britt lookalike? General Hospital spoilers gush. Curtis Ashford has just recalled Nina Reeves's torrid affair with Drew Quartermain and plans to wield it as a weapon in upcoming episodes of GH. Curtis's scheme to sabotage Drew, driven by his anger over the congressman blackmailing his wife, Dr. Portia Robinson, collides with Drew's own dark plot to strong-arm Portia into faking Michael Corinthos' test results to paint him as a drug addict. Of course, Drew's aim is to help Willow Corinthos regain custody of Amelia and Wiley Corinthos. As Curtis prepares to drop the affair bombshell, will Nina seize the moment to confess to everything, exposing Drew's blackmail before it destroys Michael, or stay silent, fearing the loss of her daughter? Curtis's memory of Nina's affair fuels his plan to expose Drew and free Portia from his grip. Meanwhile, Drew's pressure on Portia, seen in her anguished office moment, aims to undermine Michael's recent custody win. If Curtis reveals the affair, it could unravel Drew's schemes, but Nina's role in drugging him and setting him up with Jacinda hangs over her. Will Curtis's attack force Nina to come clean about the affair and Drew's blackmail, or will her fear of alienating Willow keep her quiet? Could she position this truth bomb as a means to retaliating against Curtis by knocking Portia down a peg? Or 10. Nina's dread of losing Willow, already strained by her past misdeeds, clashes with her guilt over the Jacinda setup and her fling with Drew. If Curtis outs the affair, Nina might confess to stop Drew's plot against Michael, saving Portia's career in one hand while destroying it in another. But silence risks letting Drew's falsified results destroy Michael, potentially costing Willow her kids again. Will Nina find the courage to reveal all, or let fear of Willow's rejection and her own culpability seal her lips? The collision of Curtis's attack and Drew's plot is bound to make for blockbuster ratings for GH in the weeks ahead. Drew's downfall could instantly free Willow from his grip. At the same time, Nina is already going to be in hot water with Willow over the affair, and she may not be able to withstand facing another blow that puts an even bigger wedge between herself and her daughter, particularly if that's going to be the only way she has a relationship with his grandchildren at some point. One might think the fans would be torn, with some advocating for Nina keeping the truth under her hat, but the internet is ablaze with GH fans who think it's high time Nina takes the high road and tells the truth. Here is your General Hospital Spoilers sneak peek video. For Friday, July 18th, 2025, Sasha has reached her final destination, a remote European home where her parents are apparently living. Robert is thrilled to get to know his daughter and granddaughter, but Jason is sad to have to bid her farewell. Jason and Sasha have become great friends this year while he posed as her baby daddy, so he also grew attached to Daisy before she was even born. Jason tells Sasha she is welcome back in Port Charles and in the Quartermain mansion at any time. So is this really the end? Is Sasha gone for good? When Jason gets to the airport to take his commercial flight home, he is stunned when a familiar face walks by. He thinks he's seen a ghost because the face belongs to Britt Westbourne, or at least someone who looks exactly like her. Portia is mad and not going to take it anymore, as evidenced by her violent outburst when alone in her office. Drew has pushed her to the edge, and she is ready to fight back with everything she has. Portia tells Curtis that she is ready to take her power back. Curtis seems to have something up his sleeve. Is he about to betray Nina to save his wife? Oh, Curtis, what are you going to do? Is Nina about to become collateral damage? Carly hasn't been paying much attention to Jocelyn this year, but Anna's concerns might change things. Anna asks Carly how much she knows about Jocelyn's new boyfriend. Carly doesn't even know Jocelyn has a boyfriend, so Anna piques her curiosity. When Dante does his own investigating at Anna's request, he sees something that stuns him. Does he spot Vaughn and Jocelyn with Jack Brennan? That would certainly be an eye-opener and something that Carly might want to know. After all these months, it's about time someone discovers that Jack thinks Jocelyn is super spy material. With Kelly Thibault returning to General Hospital on Friday, July 18th, fans have a wild theory about what may have drove Britt out of Port Charles. Britt has been the talk of Port Charles lately after Rocco learned the truth about his birth. While his parents view Britt as the enemy, Jason described a different side of her to the teen. But if this fan theory is true, Jason may not see her the same. GH viewer Marty Stevens suggests, Jason needs a lady in his life, and they did hook up before GH killed him off. That's why GH killed her off. Maybe she faked her own death because she was pregnant with Jason's baby and didn't want anyone to know, like Carly. Before Jason died while rescuing Britt and Peter, he had a budding relationship with Britt. He comforted her through her Huntington's diagnosis, and many remember the couple sleeping together. If Britt learned she was pregnant with a dead man's baby, maybe she faked her own death to raise the baby away from Carly and the Quartermains, similarly to Sasha. While this theory would certainly add a twist in Jason's life, the biggest plot hole is the fact that Britt and Jason slept together in fall 2021, and Britt died in winter 2023. Regardless of how things play out, one thing that's for sure is that Jason is about to be reunited with Thibault's character. High-stakes confrontations and unexpected revelations will take center stage in the General Hospital episode, set to be aired today, July 18th, 2025. Willow Tate's unusual actions will worry Liesl Obrecht, while Dante Falconeri will uncover shocking news following surveillance related to Jocelyn's new boyfriend. Jason Morgan will find a familiar face who could shatter everything he thought he knew, while Portia Robinson will finally stand her ground and set boundaries. Carly will receive disturbing news surrounding Jocelyn's love life, and Willow may be forced to get behind a controversial plan concerning Drew. Liesl Obrecht will be adamant that there is something very wrong with Willow. After seeing some behavior she found troubling, she will not hesitate to contact Nina Reeves and suggest action. Liesl's concern can be seen as a possible emotional, psychological problem that Willow is trying to hide, or something more sinister. At the same time, Willow will also make a seriously tense phone call, not promising a good outcome. She will ask some interesting questions about whether there is any point in a compromise, likely about Michael Corinthos and the custody battle. She is still looking for an early resolution to get custody of her children. But if Michael is unyielding, Willow may be compelled to go along with Drew Kane's aggressive approach to securing her children back, whatever the cost. In today's episode, Portia Robinson will show leadership by taking an assertive stand. In a vigorous conversation with Curtis Ashford, she will make it clear she is finished tolerating some actions, particularly by Drew. Portia's statement that he can go straight to hell marks a pivotal moment for her in today's episode as she begins taking back control of her choices and boundaries in this complicated situation. After Jason Morgan makes sure that Sasha Corbin is safe with Robert Scorpio, he will be heading over to the airport. Just when he thinks that things are finally slowing down, he will see Britt Westbourne and be taken back. Jason will be in shock because he witnessed Britt die, putting him in the position of either noting the strange coincidence of someone who looks identically like Britt Westbourne or a mind-blowing twist no one anticipated. Dante Falconeri will be helping Anna Devane conduct tactical surveillance on Vaughn, Jocelyn's new boyfriend. While doing that, they will spot Vaughn going to a secondary point after receiving a text from Jocelyn, but what happens next will completely catch Dante by surprise. Anna is going to have to come to Carly Spencer and ask about Vaughn, making Carly reconsider what she knows about Jocelyn's new boyfriend. Carly will have no choice but to get involved further when Anna discusses the possibility that Vaughn could be hiding some dangerous secrets, and she would likely prefer to keep quiet about the information she could get from Jocelyn. The latent double life theme is still there since he likely could see Vaughn meeting with Greta, the woman with Professor Dalton's backpack. If Dante sees Jocelyn again after that, it will only ramp up his concerns and move him to action quicker. It's going to be a week full of drama in Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers for the week of July 24-25, 2025, promise intense confrontations, heartfelt moments, and shocking revelations. Willow faces big drama for her wedding, while Martin has some big news, and Trina. The stakes are higher than ever as the week unfolds with unexpected twists that could change everything for the residents of Port Charles. This will be a drama-filled week, and you won't want to miss a moment of the fallout. Carly's future takes center stage as she and Brennan sit down to discuss what's next for them. The stakes are high as the future of their relationship remains up in the air. Meanwhile, Dante gives Anna food for thought, leading to some tough realizations. Jason also finds himself looking back at the past with nostalgia, pondering what could have been and what lies ahead. Jocelyn receives a stern warning from Vaughn, adding to her mounting pressure as she faces choices that could affect her future. Brooklyn also gets a surprise that could alter her path in unexpected ways. Trina also holds her ground. As the week progresses, Laura receives disturbing news that could change everything for Port Charles. Meanwhile, Isaiah encourages Portia, offering some much-needed support in these trying times. Lucas shares his suspicions, and Martin has some important news for Tracy, hinting at secrets yet to be revealed. Willow and Drew's wedding day brings its own set of challenges. Their day is filled with drama, and Carly and Lucas have a heated confrontation. Meanwhile, Michael confides in Christina, revealing the emotional toll the family drama is taking on him. Ava is rattled by unexpected news, and Lucy issues an invitation that could have far-reaching consequences. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.